We're live.
We are
It's
live.
Christmas and all other festivals. Oh dear. It's the last one before we break until 2023. So welcome to what can only be described as the worst planned of the Disability Horizons TV episodes in our history, as we had completely forgotten it was coming until yesterday. So, with further ado, do you even have a theme?
Of course I do. Here it is.
MZTV. Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!
Oy vey.
Do you know what? That actually sounds like you. Did you actually record that?
No, it's ho, ho, ho. I got asked to be Father Christmas.
Yeah, well, you've got it all now, mate. You've got the beard and everything, and the chair.
Yeah.
All you need to do is get some small kittens or small dogs and stick horn antlers on them, and then you.
And my wife is only 4'10", so I just put a silly hat on her, and we come as the complete package.
Oh dear.
So now then, I mean, I really want to talk about. Obviously, I don't know if everyone's really looking forward to it this year. I don't know if everyone's really looking forward to it every year, to be honest. But this year's a little bit, you know, we're almost the North Pole in our own homes. It certainly is here. I've heard people are cancelling Christmas rather than going, well, we just do what we can and let the kids enjoy it, because kids will still enjoy it.
Well, one, I have no children, so I don't know about that bit. Two, at the moment, I can't leave the house, so I'm completely missing out on Christmas in every way this year, other than the food that I've got. But Diane has very wisely put it in a box on the top of the cupboard, and I am not in a fit state. Well, because she started doing that many years ago until she came home one day and found me climbing on the cupboard to try and get the chocolates out, and was like, "Well, there's just nothing will stop you when you need chocolate, is there?" But
I've behaved myself this year. Normally, I say to Donna, right, Aldi have got Stollen, they've got mince pies, they've got the Leberkuchen biscuits, get the lot, and then I lay there on the bed going, "Oh my, why does my tummy hurt so much? Don't do that again." And no, I haven't this year. I've said, just don't. We've not even made a Christmas cake this year, because obviously Donna's doing all the Christmas, all set up with all the decorations and everything.
Yeah. And but you're not. You don't know what to do. You're like, well, I'm sure I can get out of it. I'm not celebrating the birth of all that lot, but I can still have the celebration. It's like Hanukkah extended. Just keep going.
I mean, this year, my grandkids love Hanukkah, and next Sunday we're off for the first day Hanukkah, because even though it's on the 19th, because Jews, the day starts. So today, it sunsets here already. It's tomorrow already.
Yeah.
So we're going to a Hanukkah thing at the synagogue, and the grandkids aren't Jewish, but they love it. They want to come along. Even my grandson, who's 8 the other day in the shops, saw a bag of chocolate coins and said to his mum, "They look just like gelt," which are the Jewish, like the coins that you give, play with the dreidel and that. And he gets it all, and it's nice for them to experience it. Plus, they're going to get presents and play games.
Yeah, double presents, woohoo! But I mean, this is the thing, isn't it? Is that, you know, as we as a society expand our cultures and understand more, then, you know, that's what I know people moan, "Oh, it's not festive season, it's Christmas," and it's like, well, not for everyone, it isn't. But we all have celebrations around this time of year, because it's either the shortest period, the shortest days of the year where it was cold and dark and horrible, or if you're in another part of the world, it was the longest days of the year, because depending on which bit of the hemisphere you're in. So all over the world, people celebrate midsummer and midwinter, and that's what Christmas is. Basically, was once a pagan celebration of midwinter, and you know, so.
Whether people like it or not, everywhere you go, there's, get in your car, there's Christmas songs on since the beginning of bloody October, and they're in shops and everywhere's Christmas. Whether you like it or not, you got. If you don't want to know, you're not going to avoid it. Let's face it.
I got bloody Whamageddon today on a TikTok with 3 people singing it on a flight of stairs. And I was like, "Oh,
what is Whamageddon?" I keep hearing
Whamageddon. Last Christmas by Wham. Right, you're out, and most years I avoid it, and I get to Christmas Day and I'm sorted, and I'm like, well, yeah, I won, right? Which is no mean feat, as we know. They got the Christmas CDs with Wham! Last Christmas on it everywhere, all over the place.
Yeah,
but I managed to avoid it, and just looking at my mobile phone today, flicking through rubbish videos of rubbish, and I found myself going, "Oh, so who in this group isn't singing?" It said, and I was looking, and I was thinking, I can't see. Hang on a minute, they're singing Last Christmas. You unfeeling.
I haven't heard it yet. I'm winding
No.
my grandson up. I keep singing, "It's beginning to look a lot like Hanukkah." And he's going, "Stop it, Gaga, that's not the words." Katie wants to know, Lol, what you doing on TikTok, Mick? Mick on TikTok is hilarious.
I have.
You're too old, Mick. Back away from the TikTok.
Discovered the joys of stories and video things on when you're stuck at home and you're dying of boredom. You find other things to do, and I found these, so I just go through them. And I followed a few. I followed a fantastic girl that does accent training. So she teaches you how to talk with a really convincing accent. So I've been following her tips, and it's been very.
Her what?
Her tips. Her tips. Not her tips.
Okay, doke. Right, following her tips.
Anyway.
I get lost in when I'm bored. I tend to put YouTube on, and I put fails on, and I sit there laughing at people who are incredibly stupid. I love it.
Yes, it's well, this is the thing. Is you find things to do. I have Netflix and I have Amazon, and I spend hours going through it trying to find the film to watch, and all the films are rubbish. Last night we spent, donkeys ages trying to find films, and ended up we watched 3 films, and I'm absolutely positive we've watched 2 of them before. And it was just like, because it's just it's like, because when you were young, you remember Blockbuster? You'd go into Blockbuster Video, and there'd be all the videos, and there'd be all the old videos in a corner somewhere, and then there'd be all the racks of all the new ones, and you'd go, "Oh, I haven't seen that. I haven't." Now, like by the time they get onto like Netflix and Amazon, that you're paying £9 a bloody month for, or £11 a month for, right? They're not new, and it's like,
but there are some films that you're going to watch again and again and again.
But you've got all them on DVD.
No, I have, but we don't have a DVD player. You know, Die Hard. I will continue watching Die Hard. I used to love Lethal Weapon until Mel Gibson lost the plot, and I refuse to watch it now. But you know, it's I
mean, you know, for me, it's one. I mean, I've got Blade Runner is one of my all-time favorites, and I've got that on box set with the
one thing
American
I hate
version, the English version, the English cinema version, the director's cut version, the Japanese version, and they're all completely different in really important ways.
Worst thing about this time of year, I won't want to watch the film. I don't even know what it's called. Every time a bell rings, an angel loses its wings. Fuck off! I hate the film. It goes on forever and it's shit.
Do you mean? No, I don't know. Yes, I know the one you mean, the black and white one. Rubbish. Yeah. Where he dies. He died. He wasn't ever.
Oh,
born.
I don't know. I've died by that point.
Yeah,
I'm asleep. I'm asleep in a tin of Quality Street by that stage.
I'm very jealous. Next weekend, Diane is going out with all of her sisters to a grown-up sing-along Muppet Christmas Carol.
No.
And I am like, of all the, you know, I didn't even know this existed, right? Diane, not a fan of the Muppet Christmas Carol. I have it on VHS and DVD because I have loved it from the moment it came out. There goes Mr. Humbug. And it's just like, it's the best film. So to go and see that played live while you're...
What day is it?
What is it?
I mean, you know, it's film season. It is film season. It's that time of year where you will watch films that you've watched a million times. I watched The Santa Claus with the grandkids the other night and trying to explain to my grandson what eggnog was while I've got another question coming over from this side. But there are certain things that I love. It's a Wonderful Life.
Wonderful Life, yes. Now
go on, you go. Go on, go for it, Scarlett.
Well, I was going to say that I don't really like those, like Santa Claus, and I'm proud to say I've never seen Elf ever.
Oh, you sit on a throne of lies, Mick.
Oh, well, because I mean, one, they can't top a Muppet Christmas Carol, right? And two, I don't, no, just no.
My daughter loved it, and so I guess this is where I've got it from, because when my daughter was younger, she loves it, and she still loves it. And the gifts, we end up having family gift wars for some reason on Messenger, and it's either Mean Girls or Elf or something like that, with me throwing in something grumpy.
I've never seen Mean Girls either. No.
Yeah, see,
Basically,
I've grown up on chick flicks with 2 daughters and a wife.
Yeah, but remember, right? Well, one, my wife loves action films. She loves all the films that we would have once called blokes films, like she likes like all the like Die Hard. She loves Die Hard. She loves things blowing up. So basically, for me, it's great because I just get to watch all the films that men like to watch. And Di will go, "Oh, put that on. I love that one." But also, with no children, it means that you never had that kind of second jet. So basically, I've been allowed to watch all the films I like all my life, and it means that like all that, like Mean Girls or just all of them.
Mean Girls, The Hot Chick, Confessions of a Shopaholic, all those things. I gave into it years ago, a bit like Strictly. I gave into it, and I now embrace it. I
will say, however, that I am not ashamed that I have Frozen on my hard drive of my Skybox, and that has to go on.
Now, here's a question, Mr. Scarlett.
I watched it one year at Christmas, and Diane, we were sitting there watching it, and then she turned around, and then I just noticed that she was rocking with laughter. And I went, "What?" And she went, "Do you know that you're sitting there watching it going?"
Here's a question for you. On Christmas Day, will you sit down and will you watch the Queen's speech? Oh, hang on. No. On Christmas Day. No, you won't watch the Queen's speech. The King's... Oh, yeah.
I would watch the Queen's speech. I'd like to see it. I am a zombie. But no, I won't be watching.
You don't...
I've never seen the Queen's speech ever in my life.
So you missed her horrible anus?
Well... Yeah, no, we won't talk about my views on the royal family. No. All I will say is I've been watching, I'm planning on one of my nights off during this holiday to watch the Harry and Meghan documentary, just because I so love the fact it's getting great viewing figures, because it's annoying all the right-wing wing nuts.
Yeah, I watched it. I don't see the problem.
Just like the level of hatred over from what I can see, is a man who was very young when his mum died, very horrible,
traumatized by the paparazzi and the way she was treated,
and saw how she was treated, and then himself was treated that way. Then fell in love. Yep. Right? Not many royals fall in love. They mostly get married off to someone who was young and a virgin without being horrible. That's kind of what happened to his mum. They went, "We need a virgin."
She was very young. She was very young
16 when she met a man in his late 30s. Anyway, but hey. But anyway, so that's all that. So he went, right, I'm going to look after, I want to protect her. She was American famous.
Yeah.
And came over here and was like, that whole scene where she's doing the curtsy, and she's genuflexing, so she's getting it wrong. She's overdoing it. But if you went to meet your wife's parents, right, or your future husband's parents,
grandparents,
and you go up, your grandparents, you go up, and you go to meet them, and they go, "Oh, by the way, when you go in and see grandmother, you've got to curtsy."
Even I bow to grandmother.
No, not like, "Oh, hello," but you, a potential future daughter-in-law, granddaughter-in-law, has to curtsy. Now, all she was saying was, "That's weird," and without being funny, anyone that thinks it isn't weird is weird.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, it's part of our tradition. For us, commoners, maybe. But this is, "Hello, I might be your granddaughter-in-law." And it's like, what? So I don't get it. But all I know is I like doing anything now that means I can annoy right-wingers.
I like Harry. I've always liked Harry. There you go. And I think he's having a rough time. Now then, Christmas. Yes, it's full of cheer, goodness, and
let's talk about what we're meant to be talking about.
We are off to my mother's this year for Christmas, which is going to be interesting because she's not keen on me being a Jew, let's face it. And so I've got to hide that almost. I don't know if I will. I might wear my kippah.
What you might sit there and just slowly pull your sleeve up.
No, she's very, very aware. But for a lot of people, Christmas is awkward because, as people forget the fact, the whole thing, family are horrible. Family don't understand people who are unwell and or disabled, and there will always be the problems. There's the problem surrounding, everyone's coming to us this year. Yeah, but what about your doorstep? The fact that I can't get on the toilet, the fact of stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or people are stuck at home on their own because they have no one, or because they can't join in that or refuse to join in.
Yeah. It's funny because obviously I was very lucky. I've been disabled since I was very young. So my mum and stepdad's bungalow was fully adapted because it was adapted for me when I lived at home. When I say fully adapted, I mean fully adapted for a much, much smaller chair. So I couldn't actually get in the toilet and use the toilet with my chair in the toilet. So I had to pull the chair out so I could get the loo.
Oh, I've had that a lot, yeah.
It was doable. I mean, the main reason why Christmas was so stressful in our house is because my stepdad is the grade 1 arse nutcase. So anyway, but now she's dead, of course. He's living in the house, right, where we grew up. He's moaning about being all lonely. My brother came round last night, so we saw him sort of because he's probably not going to come down here for Christmas. I'm not obviously going anywhere for Christmas.
No.
So to be honest, but I've never felt any of that guilt. I don't believe in it. It's funny. I was saying to my brother today. I said yesterday. I said, look, we as children did not pick our parents. Parents picked to have children. So there all this, well, I brought you up, you owe me this rubbish. So I've never felt any guilt about saying I'm going on Christmas or I'm not. I refuse to do.
Or who you're going with when you're married. Oh, well, we did my mum's last year and your mum's, and well, we should have my brother.
Well, luckily, you say that, but Di's mum lives in Penzance. So if we go to her, it's a proper flipping trek. We have done it. We've gone down there, but it's different. So we do it sometimes. And I'm sure when I'm better, we will go, down there because it'd be great to go and see him because it's lovely. Penzance in winter is gorgeous.
Oh. See, I'm lucky with Mum's. Mum's she built this bungalow in Fort Bay. They sold up and they moved them.
Nice.
Well, a chalet bungalow, but then they had this huge, massive extension on the back. It is gorgeous. I wheel on my wheelchair and I'm like, wee, because it's so lovely. And when they were doing it, she said, "Oh, they're going to be doing we've got the architect here. What do you need?" And I'm like, "What do you mean? What do I need?" She said, "Well, when you visit, you're going to need to use the toilet." So they made sure. They made sure I could get in, that the door was closed. There's turning circles, but there's no bars and there's nothing to grab off. So it's a little bit onto the toilet and then struggle getting off. But they took it into consideration, and the place is very open plan and just a delight.
The thing is though, right? I mean, this is I think that lots of disabled people have this problem where they can't visit all their friends and stuff. And I can't visit any of my friends, even when I'm well, I can't, because they're all living in houses I can't get into, or toilets are upstairs or whatever. But I think that when you see somewhere that's had some thought put into it, you realise what housing should be, I think. And I think it's one of those times of year where I always just say to everyone, look, could you just come to me? Just come to me. Because I've got my loo that I like. I've got my kitchen set up. I've got, do you know what I mean? It's not, I'm not, I mean, like when I used to go up to my mum's on Boxing Day, it was a real struggle.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'd say to everyone, look, I'm here. I'd arrive about 2:00 and I'd say, well, I'm here, but I'm here for 3 toilet visits because it quite hurts me to go and use the toilet.
And then he has to pee 3 times in a half hour and goes, bye.
Well, we used, exactly. So basically, get 3 very large drinks go, and then that's it. But you've only arrived half hour ago. I know, sorry, but you used to hang on, not drinking for hours, and but we used to have a ramp outside the bungalow that was for me. And the moment I moved out when I was 27, they smashed it up and took it out.
Oh,
so it was a hint that I wasn't wanted back. You're not coming back. Then they, after many years of me pointing this out, my stepdad built a ramp out of a piece of wood that he had in the carriage, just a big plank. Yeah, that's it. So I have to be pushed up it because it's so steep. Anyway, so the second year we went round, Di walks up, rings the doorbell, comes down, goes to push me up and puts her foot straight through the ramp because the ramp was made out of some bit of old rotten wood that he found. And I was like, are you just trying to kill me, Dad? Because basically you've used a rotten piece of wood laid on a brick and that's your ramp. So, but anyway, I don't go around there anymore. Anyway, I don't see him at all.
I'm dreading Boxing Day. For me,
you know when you see that advert of the old bloke going,
Yeah.
"Oh, I'm lonely at Christmas. Oh, I'm all lonely." Oh, I think there you go. That's my stepdad.
Boxing Day's the one I dread because they're coming here, and I struggle. Sounds bad, doesn't it? The in-laws are coming here, and so is my daughter with the 4 grandkids and her partner. And my other daughter will be here, obviously, because she lives here, so I'll let her be here. But I struggle with multiple conversations fry my brain anyway. Cognitively, I can't keep up. And then, of course, it'll be, let's play games and let's put some Christmas music on, and the kids be screaming and running, and they'll be having a conversation, and this person will be talking to me about this, and they'll go, did you hear that? And I used to kind of just make myself unwell and pretend. In the past couple of years, I've become a bit like, I'll go to bed. If I'm not having it, or I'll put my earplugs in. And if somebody says the wrong thing to me anymore, I no longer sit there and shut up. I'm kind of like, no, I'm not putting up with it. I'm not going to be rude to you, but I'm picking you up on this shit. And it has blown up several times.
I have had exactly the same thing. About 3 years before my mum died, we had a Christmas. My dad, my stepfather, is quite an extreme sort of right wing. He's always been an arse like that, but now you get justified. Do you know what I mean? Like the politics of when I was young was like there was Toryism, and most of my friends were lefties. And now everyone's seems to be, UKIP or beyond. So my dad voted for Brexit, hates foreigners, la la la, and he was going on like this, and he said something, and I just went for it, and really went for it. Now, to the full picture, you've got my Diane's uncle Bill, that's her brother's father's brother, and then her nan, who is as deaf as a post. She is completely deaf. So she's just enjoying being, because they live together, they don't go out much, and she was just enjoying being in a social space. I've got my mum, my brother, who loathes my stepfather as much as I do, and my stepfather, who's trying to pick a fight. Every year, come what may, he would try and ruin Christmas by doing something horrible. And I just thought, I've had enough of this. So I snapped, and then I went, right, that's it, we're going. And Diane's poor Nan was like, what's going on? Because she completely missed the argument because she couldn't hear it. Right. And then she got in the car, and all the way home, I'm steaming. I'm absolutely furious. And Di's trying to talk me down. And Bill's keeping me quiet because her uncle's a bit righty and all. So that he knew not to mention that I thought he was talking great sense. So he was quiet. And all the way home, this poor old grandma's going, what a lovely day, what a lovely, did we have a lovely time? And it was like, no, I'm not killing him. But yeah, I'm lucky. I think I'm so lucky. I don't have kids. I can see my friends if I want to. I don't really have any family. So, I'm a real Mr. Grinch like that.
There's always something. Let's face it. We all think we like it. We all think it's going to go great. Something's going to go wrong. Somebody's going to say the wrong thing. But the big question that I want to ask everyone who's listening, all of our viewers, what are you going to do with your £10 Christmas bonus this year? Because what should it be now? It was 1972 when it was first £10.
I was going to say, I remember getting the tenner as a kid, like when I was started getting PIP and everything when I was about 15. And what was there? Then it was called mobility allowance and attendance allowance. And you got your extra tenner. And I remember being able to buy all of my family's Christmas presents with that tenner.
Yeah.
It's bad, isn't it? And now, I was 15, so I'm not exactly.
I think it should be. I think the equivalent's about. I think it's about £130 equivalent ish.
Well, yeah, wasn't it meant to buy you Christmas dinner? I thought that was the plan of it. It was meant to be that you could buy a Christmas dinner for a family of 4.
Wow.
And that was, and now it's like, well, you can buy a box of After Eights and a packet of Quality Stream.
No, you can, but the tin's only that deep now. I mean, last night I said to Donna, we'd had the heating on, we treated ourselves. Guys, have a bit of heating. Our grandson had been here, he's one. I went past the smart meter and it said for the day £12.67. And it doesn't sound a lot on its own.
No, but if every day is £12.67.
So your £10 isn't really going to pay for your energy for that day.
You can buy some food, you just can't cook it.
You can't cook the bloody
Or you
stuff.
could burn the £10 and heat the pan over.
Well, that's, we're going to mum's, so that's that taken care of. Dinner's taken care of, and it's all these little bits that add up, isn't it? But I have to say,
Of course, you've got to be careful, because what your mum will do is sneak in bacon at every opportunity. Just to see.
No, it's not bacon. She said to me the other day, "You will have a sausage roll, won't you, on Christmas Day?" No. She's like, "Why?" So, Mum, right, okay. I know I'm not totally kosher. I'm not halakhically kosher, but I avoid the meats can't be eaten. She goes, "Well, God's not going to look down and go, well, he had a sausage roll. He's a bad Jew." And I said, "No, he may not. But for me, this is important." So I've told my wife, if you see my mum trying to choke me with a sausage roll, please intervene.
Well, you know what you'll do? Just go to turkey. Oh, have a bit of stuffing.
We're not having turkey.
You're not having turkey. Ooh,
No, I like it. But mum's husband, and I say husband, not stepdad, because they got married 10 years ago.
Yeah.
They've got the money, but he says, I refuse to pay because they go to this butcher's called Byford's and everything's really freaking expensive. I'm not paying I'm not paying £80 for a turkey. I'm getting a rib of beef. So I've got a roast beef dinner. So yeah.
I mean, the thing is, I haven't eaten meat since 1990. Oh shit! I haven't eaten meat since 1992. It's this year. It's 40 years.
Yeah, my daughter was
30 years. 30 years.
30 years.
30 years. Yeah. So 30 years. So so I have nut loaf. But which I make myself. And annoyingly, it's the meal that Diane looks forward to all year. Oh, nut loaf, I love your nut loaf. But she won't let me make it the rest of the year because she looks forward to it so much. Which means every bloody year I have to try and remember my own recipe. And it's like, so every year, Christmas morning is absolutely horrific. Because I'm like, how much now? What does I go with that? How many nuts? What onion? Do I put a courgette?
Wait. Have you not got it on a Word document?
No, I never written it down. Because I'm too stressed to write it down when I'm cooking it. And by the time I'm finished, it's like, I might do this year. Because normally after I put the dinner on, we go for a walk and then we come back and it's cooked.
Christmas pudding? Yes or no? Christmas pudding?
I like Christmas pudding. Oh, yucko. Not unless it's one of those weird M&S chocolate orange filled.
I like a cheap Christmas pudding, and it has to be cheap because my opinion is, as they try and make them, this isn't just a Christmas pudding, this is an M&S Christmas pudding, which means they've way overdone it. They've chucked half a bottle of booze in, they've chucked in way too many nuts and shit like that, and it's awful. The cheap, crappy, the worst ones you can get. Half a slice of one of them. I'm not talking a big one. Oh, yeah. And microwave now. No waiting hours for it to steam. Bit of cream on it. And the fruit upsets my stomach. The cream upsets my stomach. But I am so happy. And if I eat it Boxing Day, everyone's gone the next day while I'm sat on the loo going, why'd you let me do it?
I think the thing is I've always found that you eat Christmas dinner and you're like, and you've been eating all morning because whether you like it or not, you do start grazing while you blah blah blah, and then you finish Christmas dinner and you're like, I'm really nice, I'm full as I can be, and then someone goes, Christmas pudding, and it's that go on, it is only wafer thin.
One wafer thin mincer. Fuck off!
No, I am stuffed. But,
go on,
and it's
Mr.
that
Creosote.
it's that thing, and so every time when I did used to eat it, it was like, oh no, now I've overdone it. Now I'm just going to die. So
see, we've got two stomachs. People don't know this as humans. I've got my dinner stomach, and I'm full, and I can't fit another thing in. But I can then sit on the settee with a quality street, and my chocolate belly is still full, empty, and so I can then fill my chocolate belly.
Well, that's why I always don't overdo it on the main food because there's the chocolate and the biscuits and the sweets and the. However, I always buy a Stollen.
Oh yes,
and that can equally get you without looking because that is equally stodgy.
especially the Stollen bites. I don't know why they call them the bite because I never bite the things.
Sorry, and I
like a penguin.
Stollen, all that Stollen bite rubbish. He's like, yeah, no, that's not enough.
All right, another question. Here we go. Another question, people, and I want these on the comments. Quality Street, Roses, Celebrations. Oh, there's another one. Heroes. What's the best?
Oh, yeah. What is
if you don't say Quality Street, you're wrong.
Now you see, I ordered for Christmas a bag of Quality Street and a bag of Celebrations, and bloody Sainsbury's said we haven't got any Celebrations, so they gave me 2 bags of Quality Street. So you'd be over the moon. The problem is, one year we decided let's really push the boat out, and we went to a really expensive chocolate shop, like £80 a box.
What, like Hotel Chocolat?
Oh no, way more than that. It was that. Yeah, I'm probably going to buy a Hotel Chocolat box this year.
Oh yeah, those as well, Katie.
Yeah, I've got me after 8. Oh, now matchmakers, right, were invented by someone, but
I expect they were.
Mose, there is no such thing as would you like a matchmaker?
No.
Has anyone ever opened the box and not
out a section?
Box gone.
Donna tends to buy these trays where there's kind of little squares of mints and there's round ones and they're all different and they all taste like toothpaste.
Hendrix, posh ones.
No. They're meant to be like. I think these are like the Aldi's kind of cheap ones.
Oh well, yeah, but you know they're trying them. Well, I mean we've got they got after 8s. By the way, Disability Horizons people, we are advertising an awful lot of products here, and Purple Goat should be seeing this as an opportunity next year to get some serious sponsorship money, and we'll eat them on camera and go, these
I expect
are lovely.
to have
this pint of beer is wonderful. This all the way, you know, and
I expect to have 10 kilograms of Quality Street on my doorstep tomorrow.
You will as well. You get all this stuff. I'm going to review this thing. I mean, you've got 2 stab vests. I mean,
no, lately. So lately, I've got a stab vest. I've got a body worn camera, which is a couple £100. I've got a CCTV camera out there. All that night vision. What else have I got? I've got beard stuff. I've got a little chainsaw coming, little battery operated one. I've got a camera light. All I did was go on Twitter and go, I'm going to start reviewing again now I finish my study. And
cool. So what's this? So Avril's saying if it was a box of green triangles. Yeah, now you see.
I like the blue ones. You know, the coconutty ones. I like them. And nobody else does, so I like them.
I like the strawberry ones.
Booja Boojas. I'd rather have Booja Boojas.
Oh, I don't know what a Booja Booja is.
That sounds like that thing that you meant. Oh, Turkish Delight. Don't Turkish Delight. God.
Now, do you mean Turkish Delight as in Cadbury's Turkish Delight, or do you mean proper Turkish Delight? We've got a lovely Greek shop down here near us that sells boxes of individual, like 20, 30 pieces of each one. Rose, lemon.
Oh.
Right?
All in a big kilogram of cocaine. Yeah, it's lovely, isn't it? End up with it all around your nose.
But that, lovely. Oh, see, now I'm hungry. And the Christmas food in a box that I can't get to.
I've got nothing to eat here. I've got nothing to eat. Of course, I am ready set up. I've got my Nerod Hanukkah. I've got my Hanukkah candles, and I've got a cheap. I can't afford a proper Hanukkah. I've got a little tin Hanukkah. I keep saying I'm going to get a proper one, but I can't afford it. So we got that, which starts next time. But as you say, Donna's put all the food up.
Yeah.
Which is silly because she can't reach.
Well, yeah, of course, when Donna puts it up out of reach, it's not that high, is it?
It's been there since 1980. No. Of course, I mean, what's lovely, my daughter was born on the 15th of December, 1992. And so for my mum, it made it special because I've got a Christmas memory. Mum was dishing up Christmas dinner. Now, as a child, I was very fussy. I didn't do vegetables or anything like that. She's dishing up and the phone rings. I said, I'll get it. And Dad's like, okay. So I go to the phone, pick it up, and it's my stepgranny. He goes, hello, Alfred here. And I went, hello. He goes, tell your mother her mum's dead. And hangs up. I'm like, so I put the phone down. I walk back to the table. And my mum goes, I know. And I sit down and she's piling Brussels sprouts on my plate. She's now not thinking, she's gone, and my plate's getting full of Brussels sprouts. And I looked at my dad's going, shut up. So it kind of destroyed Christmas for the whole family. And then obviously my daughter was born. She's meant to have been born on the 23rd. And we had my mum we had turkey, but my mum stayed with us that Christmas. And it kind of gave Christmas a new injection. Because there's a lot of people this time of year, you know, that are...
Yeah, no,
it's kind of destroyed because loved ones.
Well, 3 years ago, my mum died on December the 3rd, and we buried her on December the 22nd. So Christmas was a bit interesting. But again, you know, I prefer to look on the good times rather than think about the fact she's not here. It's sad, but, you know, kind of, I mean, she was 80. So I mean, you know, I'm hoping to make it to 80. I've got, you know, wow, even 23 years yet. So, you know, I'm hoping to do that. And I think that's how I look upon it. But I do think that, the thing is, one of the things that has happened to society, and I think this happened, it started with Kilroy, right? Is this idea
Kilroy silk
that you have the right to tell other people that they should live like you do?
Yes.
And I think that that's one of the major problems we've got in our society now, is that, like, oh, they don't do it like us. And it's like, so what? If you want to have Christmas on your own, great. If you want to have Christmas with family, great. If you want to have Christmas, like, go out for a meal, great. Yeah. If you want to cook it, great. If you don't want to celebrate it at all because you just think it's rubbish, great.
Mum lied to us one year. Mum said to us, I can't come to you for Christmas this year. She was living on her own at the time, many years ago. I'm going to Auntie Paulette's Christmas dinner. We're like, okay. And she said to Auntie Paulette, I can't come to you. I'm sorry, because I'm going to theirs. And she stayed at home and she stayed in bed and watched TV all day. She said it was the best Christmas she's ever had.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's funny because when I was really young, when I decided that Christmas Day was mine and whatever I wanted to do, I would do it. So I'd get up on Christmas morning. And I still lived at home, but I was going out with a girl from Luton at the time. And I'd get up and we'd open the presents. And I'd go, all right, then, bye. And I'd fuck off and go and see her. Because it's Christmas. Don't you want to stay? No. Does she want to come here? No, it's Christmas. I want to go and have sex. I want to go and have fun with someone else. Bye.
It's snowing.
Is it snowing now?
It's snowing. It certainly is, yeah.
Oh, wow, cool. That means you're totally trapped inside.
I am anyway. Let's face it. Let's face it.
Do you know what? One Christmas, Di got the flu, and it was a really bad one. Like, she got up after about 5 days because in her family she was brought up to believe colds 3 days you're better, flu 5 days you're better. She got up out of bed after 5 days and she looked like a ghost. I mean, Diane was already very pale, but she was translucent. So she was like, she came in and she was like, oh, I think I'm going to fast out.
Mick, it's the ghost of Christmas past.
Yes, it was. Yeah. Mend your ways, Scarlet, Ebenezer Scarlet. So anyway, I put her back to bed and she was in there for 2 weeks. She was really ill. And it started snowing about the 4th day of her illness. And it snowed and snowed and snowed. You know that year when it got really, I mean, in London, it was deep, which you just don't see. And it meant I had to go out shopping and I had to do everything.
In 87, it was very deep, I remember.
And when she was better, she looked out the window and went, oh my God, has it been snowing? And I said, yeah, it's been snowing all like the whole time you've been ill. Oh God. We'd only just moved here. So it was like about 12 years ago. Right. So I still get brownie points for that Christmas because she goes, oh, do you remember that year when you looked after me and it was snowing and you didn't go out? And I'm thinking, it was only 1 year, darling. Are men that useless that if you look after
my brownie points, back in the days when I could still walk, Donna, we said, the way shops are, you know, it's always absolutely rammed. And so I said, well, go shopping early hours of the morning. And so I woke up at 2 in the morning. I got dressed and I went out. Donna's asleep, kids asleep. I went round Tesco's, bumped into so many people I knew. I did all the Christmas shopping. I then come home. I put it all away. I got back into bed and I went to sleep. Next morning, Donna wakes up and she went, "Oh, we would go shopping." I said, "I've been." And she's like, "No, you haven't." I went, "No, I have. I really went shopping." "No, you didn't." No, I've been Christmas. She would not believe me till she went and looked at the cupboards. And I said, "You'd be good, wouldn't you, getting burgled?" I came in with all these bags.
Oh, do you know what? So it sounds like Donna's the same as Diane. We were living in a little flat in the other side of Camden, and it was a tiny little flat, and it had the only windows in the living room were like patio doors. So it was really hot in summer. We left them open, and we've been out the night before, so she's a bit tired. She passes out on the sofa, and then all of a sudden, over the road, a band starts practicing, full volume, nothing. Right then, they start digging up the road right outside our flat, nothing. And then, and this is only happens in London, a brass band marched by, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Salvation Army.
I was just like, "No, the rock band I get, yeah, it's London. The roadworks I get is on." Who has decided to let? It's not like bloody, up Yorkshire, right down Pitt. Like this is in the middle of Camden. Whole lot. She does not blink. Sleeps through it all. So I can get up in the night in agony, come in here screaming and shouting, and she just doesn't wake up. So that's kind of handy. I'm going to remember that one. Next time when I'm well enough, I'm going to get up and sneak out and do all the Christmas shopping, and then she'll just be like,
So see, in previous years, I mean, X Factor's finished, but if you went to do your Christmas shopping during the X Factor final, you were guaranteed that the place was empty.
See, of course,
or the Strictly.
I just realised, of course, that today, due to the football yesterday, it is the Strictly final.
It is.
So
it's
we
on
are
at
not going to have
7:20.
our usual conversation afterwards, are we? Because you're going to be gone.
It's the quarterfinals. Is it the quarterfinals? Semi-finals, I believe. Semi-finals. Two dances, each couple, two dances.
Semi-final.
And I do like Hamza. Hamza is my favourite.
I do just have to comment, I think, before we go, because we've come nearly to the end, which is quite good.
Nearly.
Is anyone shocked that we didn't win the World Cup?
Does anyone care?
Well, I thought it's every time we do this. It's coming on. No, it's not.
I saw a very poignant advert on Twitter, and there was an England flag outside after they'd lost, and it put, "He's coming home."
Yeah.
Because domestic abuse, they're drunk, they're upset because their team's lost, and reports of domestic violence. And beautiful game, my ass.
We got to be see, now we've done this. You watch our comments will be filled with hate. I once tweeted a joke. There'd been this massive football violence thing, and I said it's weird, isn't it? If that had happened at a gig, like a load of goths had started a massive fight, or a load of rappers or something, right? There'd be all manner of hell to pay, and the gigs would be cancelled, and the band wouldn't be able to be seen. Football, it's been going on since I was 5, 6, football violence. I remember when I was a teenager, the blood, Luton Town Centre got wrecked so often by football fans.
That's when I stopped liking it. I used to support Liverpool as a kid, and the violence got so banned. I think we were all banned. Football fans were banned from Europe because of it. And I stopped liking it because of the violence, and I dislike it still because of that, and because of the money involved.
So I basically made a little joke on Twitter. I went, I don't know, if this happened to rock bands, we'd be banned. What we need to do is ban football for a season and see what happens. The torrent, not only of weird hatred, it's not like when you're talking to a cyclist about accessing cycle lanes, right? It was a load of people suddenly decided that you must be a paedophile if you don't like football. And it was the horrific abuse. And it was just like, you're weird. I was joking. I didn't really, I'm kind of joking, but so I suppose the thing to remember, folks, is that when you're thinking about your Christmas and you're a bit low and you're on a bit, at least you're not having Christmas with the kind of people that send out hateful tweets if you make a joke about football. And if you are, I'm very, very sorry for you. And if you're the person that sent them, then bravo.
So I guess at 1 minute 2, I will wish everyone who celebrates a Chag Sameach, a happy festival of lights for Hanukkah, And obviously, we wish everyone a Merry Christmas, if that's possible. Look, I will still be online chatting away on Twitter, especially Boxing Day when the in-laws are around. So, you know, we'll all be there chatting somehow.
And next year when we come back, because we're going to take a break now until, is it the 9th, I think, or something? It's in January anyway. We'll tell you all when we're coming back. Where we want more guests, we want more fun. We're going to give it a little bit of thought. It's been a little bit of a tricky one because we're both, as we've said, not that well at the minute. But we'll come back with a bang. But for now, have a great festive season. Have a wonderful new year. And see you in 2023. And that's about it. And
I'll be doing what I do every night on New Year. I'll be laying in bed asleep, and then at midnight fireworks go off, and I'll be going, "Oh, a fucking idiots! Oh, it's a whitewash still going on there. Do you know it's 1 o'clock?"
Yeah. See, now I'm only looking this way because the chocolates are over there, and I'm just thinking, how much will it hurt me? I can use my grabbing hand.
You're not allowed to have grabbing hands, Mick. It's now a more civil society.
Grabbing hands, grab all they can. I fought for years not to have a grabbing hand. And then I went, sorry. And now I've got one. It's the greatest thing in the world. You can pick anything up from the floor. I can pick chewing gum, apples, bits of onion that I've dropped, knives, everything. The lot. I'm Mr. Skilled. And I've now realised.
I'm just picturing your house now full of chewing gum, knives and apples on the floor.
I drop lots of stuff. But it's because my chair's so high, I can't reach the floor.
Oh, I can touch the floor. Yeah, I'm okay there.
I have to do a kind of weird thing. Anyway. So have a great time, everybody. We'll see you all next year. Enjoy whatever you're
doing.
You just Diane to put you.
I think you just want Diane to put you over your knee.
Well, yes, that might be something.
Mixed Christmas.
Hey, trust me, if I thought that would happen, I'd be up there like a rapper drain pipe. But she'll just look at me with a disapproving look as I sit there covered in chocolate like a kid.
Donna and I have come to an agreement until this cold weather's over that neither of us are taking our clothes off, no matter what feelings we get. It's not happening.
Oh, dear.
Right. Goodbye, everybody.
Yeah.
We will see you in the new year.
Yes. So with that, I suppose, bye-bye.
And now the end is near. And